Hey everybody. So for this video, I think it'll be pretty short. We're going to go over one thing, and that's tracing out the basically how to reverse an array. Okay, I look at this as being probably the first algorithm that we are doing in this class. Being that an algorithm is being an automated way, step-by-step way of basically solving a problem. Okay, so here the goal or the problem that we're trying to solve is we want to reverse an array such that the last digit in the array is the first, and the first is the last, and so on and so forth. Okay, algorithms are an incredibly important part of computer science or in general. They're used all over the place. They're used in engineering disciplines all the time, and so it makes sense to get familiar with kind of walking through them, understanding the steps, and eventually how to write them yourself. Okay, so let's go through it. Let's start. The idea here is let's kind of look at the if we look here on the original side here on the left, we've got the code that we're trying to actually, let's see here. On the left, we've got basically the code that's reversing the array, right? And when we look through it, we see a few different things. The first part is it's basically just the part that's getting the values from the user. I'm going to assume that the user entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we know the size is 8. It's indicated here. So all that first for loop is doing is just populating the array. Okay, the last one down at the bottom, all that's doing is walking the array or iterating the array and printing all the values in order. Okay, so there's not really that much interesting happening in the first and the last one. What I'm really concerned about is us looking at this middle one here, reverse the array elements, and be able to kind of step through what the process looks like for that one. All right, so let me kind of bring that up here. So that I can write on it. Okay, so a couple of the key things. The first thing you may notice looking at this one is that let's see when the array actually stops. Right? We know it starts at 0. That's indicated here. When we start tracing, and we can see it here in the original code, the stopping is going from the number of elements divided by 2. Well, we know that the number of elements is 8, right? So we're going to loop until I is less than, we're going to loop while I is less than 4. So over here on our trace, we can go ahead and indicate that we're going to loop 4 times total, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay? All that's happening in this loop is we are doing a swap. Okay? So when I is 0, we are going to have our temp. So one thing we didn't kind of indicate here, but I'll write it on the left-hand side here. Our temp is going to be the value of I, in this case 1. I mean the value of the array at index 0, which is 1. So temp will be 1, our temp val. Okay. And we're setting temp value to 1, and then our new user vals, which is our array, is going to be the number of elements minus 1 minus I. So I, we know, is 0 at first, so it's really the number of elements minus 1. Okay, which is going to be is 7. Okay, which is that very last index here. We know that the indexes start at 0. Okay, so 7 is going to be 8, is going to be value 8. Okay, and we're going to write 8 here. Okay, in index 0. And then we are going to write our temp val, which is 1. We're going to write that in that 7th location. So we're going to write 1 here. So effectively what we've done is we've swapped these two values. Okay, all the other ones are going to remain the same. Okay, nothing changed for all the other values in the array. Okay, and a pattern is going to emerge if we continue to do this. We were going to see that temp val is going to get the new I, right, which is now 1, right, that location 1, which so it's value 2. Right, we're going to go to index 1, and we're going to pull out the value at index 1, which is 2, and so temp val is going to get value 2, and then we're basically going to swap that location here, okay, with our if we do the math here, we'll see that we'll have I as 1. Right, so we're effectively doing -2, right? It's going to be 6, index 6, right, or value 7. We're effectively swapping those values. So 8 stays there, 1 stays there, right? 7 gets swapped here, 2 gets swapped there, okay? The only values that we're manipulating on that loop through the array is the locations of index 1 and index 6. Okay. If we continue to trace this out, we're going to see that there's a pattern that emerges, right? We're going to continue moving in from basically both sides of the array, right? 6 gets placed here, 3 gets placed here. None of the other values are changed. Okay, and then the last is these ones, right? We're going to swap those. Okay, none of the values are changed. And the end result is we've now, as you see, we've now effectively reversed the array. Okay, that's all there is to it. You make sure you see how the code translates to that, walking through that, how to trace through it. I don't think it's too bad once you've kind of if you follow through step by step, the kind of approach or the algorithmic approach becomes fairly clear. Well, let us know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll see you in class real soon.